Sorry, so excited. Literally, the child in me is so supremely excited about the whole concept, prospect, and 1984. I just feel like I'm back there, and Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd, and just all of them. I just can't wait. I'm just so excited. It's too much. Sorry, so this is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. This is a trailer for the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. We've seen a teaser, and I wasn't convinced by the snowy bit, the frozen bit. I'm convinced by the idea that we're going back to New York from Oklahoma with our new cast members, Paul Rudd, who else we've got? Mckenna Grace, Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon. Carrie Coon, what a brilliant sort of foil or sparring partner she was to Paul Rudd's comedy. Every bit is equal. So yeah, this is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. So this is a sequel to that. This is the 5th Ghostbusters film of all time. Of course, there is the much maligned female outing. I know there are some huge fans of that. It's not to say, but let's consider it as a separate entity. Let's not consider it as part of the authentic, original kind of authentic. I don't know. Ghostbusters Afterlife, I think, was one of the best, well-made, nostalgic, whilst not just relying on nostalgic tropes, franchise movie to be released in recent years. I thought it was immensely enjoyable, very funny. It was a beautiful and kind of accurate and apt continuation of all of that sort of CGI fantasticness, battered realism, real props, the kind of excitement and the innovation that we all felt when we saw Slimer or whatever he was, those ghosts, that brilliant kind of new sort of visual effects. And yet what they managed to do in Afterlife was maintain those visual effects, keep the 80s feel to it, keep the car and all that kind of sparky blue stuff, and at the same time make it a modern film. So I thought it was very successful. So I had huge concerns and huge misgivings when I just saw the teaser trailer. And of course, a lot of, the thing you have to remember with a lot of these teasers, trailers, etc., is a lot of the CGI and a lot of the effects hasn't necessarily been fully rendered, which begs the question, why don't you just render the bits that are in the trailers? But, there we go. So wasn't convinced by that, but I am so willing to be converted to this movie. I want another Ghostbusters film. I'm up for it. I have the palate for it. I've got the appetite for it. And there's nothing that you could say that there's almost no one you could have added that would be better to this whole thing than Paul Rudd sitting alongside the originals. And of course, we've got Ernie Hudson, Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray all in there. The originals, I think the premise of this one is that the original Ghostbusters in New York need their help, and they've unleashed, or they must join forces to save the world from a second ice age that could be brought about due to some kind of ghost release situation. So without further ado, let's jump in. I'm convinced they didn't need to. My worry and my fear going into this is they didn't need to go the extra yard with the kind of Frozen thing to get me in, and I think to get a lot of people in. Sometimes it can just be clever script, it can be the clever performances, comic wit, the right amount of nostalgia, just like the Afterlife reboot, and just reparked in New York. That could have been enough for me, but who knows? Maybe they make a go of it. So let's check this out. This is the trailer for Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
I've been waiting 40 years for this.
So have I.
They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved the world. No eyewitnesses. And who is found to carry the torch? Descendants of Egon Spengler. You have a miner hanging out the side of a moving vehicle, firing a laser gun indiscriminately.
As a proton pack.
It's completely safe.
I wouldn't say completely safe.
The Ghostbusters are finished.
Right, well, overruled.
Sustained.
Thank you. Funny?
You the weird guy who buys strange old things?
Correct on both counts.
Buddy, you just hit the jackpot.
What is it?
Better question is, what's inside of it?
Yeah.
The parables tell of an unimaginable evil commanding an army of ghosts. With the power to kill by fear itself.
Like, literally scared to death?
We might be looking at a second ice age.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Can I be of any help? Melnitz in uniform! Yeah!
If there's something strange,
if there's something weird, what are people gonna call?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else? What? Buster makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Heads up. Tall, dark, and horny at 12 o'clock.
Tall, dark and horny at 12 o'clock. It's a classic Bill Murray line. They've gone for so many revisits, haven't they? Easter egg moments almost. Kind of, you know, in the library, Dan Aykroyd in the library, Finn Wolfhard with Slimer passing through him and him coming out of his mouth, all of that kind of stuff. There's the fire station rather, looking fantastic. We've stood in front of that. It feels real when you're there. You expect ghosts to come. Of course, it feels like, does anyone else think? It feels like even the producers of the film recognise that perhaps the weakest aspect of the teaser, or the thing they got a bit of pushback on, was the Frozen thing with the stalactites or stalagmites coming through Coney Island Beach and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't entirely working in that. They can't get rid of it. They've committed to it. But didn't you feel that if you if you looked at this as a pie, only 18% of that trailer gave us the cold, frozen-y stuff, and the rest of it gave us everything that I was wanting, which was all the old characters, all the old sets, all the old costumes, all the old kit, the car, all the blasters, a few kind of wisecracking lines. But there's still the Frozen bits, and now I'm worried. They've done a good job in that trailer of hiding the Frozen bit, pushing it to the side. But of course, in the film, it's called Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I really, really like the monster. Yeah, tall, dark and horny. But at last, I don't know, something tangibly different to spidery things. I'm not entirely sure about the kind of archaeological fish, frozen tundra fish that they're catching and all of that. I don't want ghosts of fish. And the baby marshmallows. The baby marshmallow man. The baby marshmallow man. The Stay Puffed baby marshmallow man. Look. Angry Stay Puffed. Don't mess with him. I was getting all those fuzzy, lovely feelings. I personally want Slimer to pass through me. That sounds wrong, but I do. I want him to pass through me.